Hi, beautiful people. Reverend Theresa Garcia here, and today I want to talk to you about essentially one of the most important things in the world, and that is connecting to God. And that can, again, God can be Yahweh, infinite intelligence, however you identify um, with the divine. And I learned this about 5 years ago. Someone that I was acquainted with spoke to God, and I was working with a metaphysical doctor who I trusted deeply. And he confirmed that it was God and that it wasn't a voice in her head or something like that. And immediately I became jealous. And but I expressed it, right? I said, wow, I feel real jealous. Like, how come God talks to you and not me? And she was like, oh my God, anybody can do it, right? All you have to do is, open your heart and tell and speak to God truthfully and say you want to be a vessel for divine will, love, and truth. And it was so easy, I did it right away. Now, mind you, up until this point, I thought everyone that spoke to God was either lying or crazy. I had been religious in the past. I'd been very spiritual, but I didn't think that there was any possibility to directly communicate. I thought we had to speak to a priest or, someone holier than myself. And instantaneously, literally, the second I did this, an immense amount of divine, pure, loving energy came through. And it actually brought me to my knees, and I cried in gratitude because it felt so good. And I might not have understood God at that time, but I understood that it felt like honey almost. I knew it was God. There was no question because it was so divine. It felt so good. And then I just kept receiving these downloads. And downloads are just, to me, energy, divine energy pouring through. It usually comes in through the crown. You can feel it through the whole body. But I might be eating dinner and it would come and I would just go into a deep meditative state. And it was absolutely beautiful. And shortly after that, I heard God. And what I heard in that moment was, I am here to teach people how to go straight to source. And it was just a windfall from there. I was guided to go to school, and that's my metaphysical school. I just finished my master's test. So now I just got to do my thesis, and then it's on to my doctorate's program. But it was a journey, right? And it's been up and down because I got really close with God, and then I unconsciously turned away. However, that was an experience that I needed to occur because I was being guided to step into what I'm doing now, and I needed to develop the maturity required to hold the position that I am now in. And that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. So when you do this practice, I really want to hear what your experience was like. And I look forward to seeing more and more people guided by the infinite divine intelligence that created all of us, our eternal creator. And I really believe that our eternal creator is the master planner, has everything laid out by design. And when we choose to align to divine will, love, and truth, we're not giving up our, and in a sense we are. We're turning away from our personality and choosing super consciousness. We're choosing to unite with the divine and let the divine lead us. However, the divine's plan for our life is 1,000 times better than anything we could ever dream of. And so what I encourage you to do is do this practice, do it often, and relish in the joy that comes from being led by God. You know, so many people have life coaches, and yes, I have a coaching program that I'm rolling out called the Light Program over the next couple of weeks. And coaches are great, but no one is as good as the divine eternal creator at leading you in your life. And so you might be asked to make some changes, and know that, you know, transformation doesn't necessarily come easy. However, the outcome, once you get through that metamorphosis portion, because if you've never spoken to God, then your body doesn't have, you know, the capacity to hold a lot of light. You know, our light capacity, our light quotient comes directly from source, eternal creator. And so if we're not actively doing that, we'll have to make some changes. And it's often diet, it's often habits, it's often people, places, and things. And so you have to be willing to let go of everything to put God first. And best believe that if you enter in, which is very common, you know, times where you are alone, or you feel like you're alone, you're never really alone. God is always with you. God created you. God is literally embedded. Yahweh, the name Yahweh is embedded in every single one of our cells. And if you want the science behind this, you can look to Gregg Braden. He created a book called The God Code, and it gets really heady for any of the intellectuals that, you know, need scientific evidence to believe what we are, right? And so that's a great place to check and to develop your own research. Of course, I love the Bible, but the Bible isn't the only way, you know. And at the end of the day, Islam, Christianity, and Catholicism all are rooted in the same foundation, right? It's all the same Old Testament. And so the only thing that's different is the New Testament. So I just want you to know that whatever faith-based practice you have, connecting directly to the Creator is really what Jesus was teaching. It's what Buddha was teaching. It requires a state of peace within. And if you don't have peace yet, it's okay, because by doing this practice of openly and truthfully open your heart, and you just imagine your heart opening. You don't have to know what that means. Your body knows what this means. And so you just imagine, you say, I intend to open my heart. And dear divine, however you identify, Yahweh, I choose to be a vessel of divine will, love, and truth, and you will be guided, and trust the guidance. And it might sound crazy, it might look a little chaotic, but that's what transformation is. Like, can you imagine like a butterfly when it goes into the caterpillar turns into the butterfly? Everything in the butterfly has to die and become goo before this beautiful creation is birthed, and that's exactly what you're going to go through. Now, you can totally do this on your own, and you are perfectly equipped to do this on your own. But if you want a little support along the way, I am here. Okay, I'll leave my contact below. Please like, comment, let me know what your experience is with this. The more people that comment their experience, the more it's going to inspire other people to try it. I, am someone who, I'm the last person to be expected to be, a reverend and to be channeling God, but I'm the perfect person because I show you that no matter what your past is, I've done so many things that are considered really bad. I hurt people, I used people, I lied about who I was, I did a lot of drugs, I partied, I did everything, that you could think of under the sun as a woman with daddy issues. And yet, God is delighted to express through me. And so it doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter what you've done. I don't care if you were a drug addict or this or that. What the reality is that the law of compensation says that whatever years you spent in the darkness, it will be multiplied in the light. So, and the harder you've fallen, the more people you can relate to and the more people you can reach. And so, I really believe that right now what this world needs the most is more people aligned and amplified to the divine. And when we have that, we unlock what Jesus talks about is the kingdom of heaven. And he said, we will do greater things than he. And that's when we access the kingdom of heaven. We are living in one of the most advantageous times of human history. And so I encourage you to get curious with the divine. Get curious about what your potential is. And if it feels aligned, offer to be a vessel for divine will, love, and truth. Thank you so much. Many blessings to you in all that you do.